Computer, record transmission for the commander. Upper.
Affirmative.
Hey, Grandma. Today is my 778th journey into the time beam. I say this a lot, but I got a good feeling about this one. In my last mission, I was able to identify the key players responsible for preserving Earth's oxygen, saving their planet from imminent collapse. With their blueprints, I'm confident we can do the same. I saw so many families just like ours, dining together. Did you know there were so many restaurants back then? It was nothing like I'd seen on my other missions. I wish we were able to do that. To sit around a table and share a meal together that isn't machine processed. To live above ground and breathe the air. Mum even said you used to cook her something called dumplings. That is, before we got put on rations. The group I mentioned are gathering tomorrow. That's enough time for me to land on Earth, copy the blueprints, and transmit them through the time beam. We're so close, I can feel it. This is the closest to hope we've had in years. Just need you to know you can trust me, Apple. I hope you know how much you inspire me. Mum used to tell us all these stories about adventures when you were my age. About how the info from your missions helped our agriculture thrive underground. That was my personal favourite. I can see the look in your face right now. The look you always give me when you think my emotions are getting the best of me. But there's something I haven't told you, Apple. I had my vitals checked after the last journey, and it confirmed what I already suspected. These journeys, we're not meant to go through time as much as we do. So this is a one-way trip. I'm okay with this. I'll be able to do something good. Be able to save the world. I know I haven't always been there, and Mum can never understand why I can't just stay underground, but you are poor. You know you do the same thing in my position. Just promise me you won't come after me. I can't have you in any more danger. I need to leave now. Look out for the transmission, okay, Apple? And don't forget me. Tell Mum not to worry, and that I love her.
school tomorrow. I'm not crying. See, if we both cried, then we'd be flooding the yellow river 10 floors below. Is that what you want? You see, I was also confused. At 4 years old, I was confused as to why I, as a little girl, wasn't even allowed to go to school. Your half-uncle was so angry with me for asking that question, and he slapped my face, and my face was swelling and painful, but I gritted my teeth and I refused to cry as he scolded me. You know? Why would you ask that? Why would you bother? Just ask your mother to teach you to be a good cook and a good wife when you marry. Do you understand what education can do for a person? I could have been a better mother. I could have had better jobs. I could have taught you everything I learned. Instead, what? Now I can't even read a book. That is why I send you to that amazing school many miles away. And I had to wait hours to get that bus driver's job at the depot. Did I tell you that? Because we were spending so much money just sending you to that stupid school bus. And it was always late anyway, so your teachers were always complaining. So I decided that I will be a bus driver. Did you hear those silly people trying to mock us as well? Ayo, is your husband spending all of his money at sea? Doesn't he just come back and take care of you and your son? Didn't put me off. I just had to put 2 cushions, one over the other, just so that I could see over that bonnet because I'm that small. Because all that matters is that you are safe by my side and that you get to school on time. From tomorrow onwards, maybe I can reduce my hours and you can teach me how to read. And you can learn as well. That'd be fun. For home, home, di Wang Shan Pai, Wang Shan Pai， 爬上了天空，照着我们的家，我们家里人把歌谣。妈妈爱我，我爱她哟。So many years I waited for you to arrive. I never gave up. I saw so many Chinese doctors. One after the other feeding me with herbs and telling me not to eat this, not to eat toast, too much hot air. No eggs will survive that. 2 long years later, you finally showed up. Screaming. That was the best day that I've ever had. You'd be strapped on my back or sometimes on my front, you know, with your arms and legs just waving about. I want you to have the best of everything that I never had. That is why I was so upset when you failed that test. You know? If you fail that test again, how are you gonna be better than... It's okay. Don't worry about it. Sleep tight, and tomorrow I will wake up extra early to make you your favorite rice porridge with crispy white baked. And with some eggs. Give you some extra protein so that you can concentrate in school. Okay, night-night. And you know, one day we will live in this beautiful big house with strong curtains. And no one will ever look down on us again.
I don't know what you want me to say, miss. Obviously, I'm not going to vandalise my own locker, am I? You do believe me, don't you? And I know who it was. That cow, Sophie McCabe. She's like the only year 12 who was spelled biatch with a Y. She's not funny. Yeah. She's basically illiterate, and she has no imagination. It's why her face looks like a Snapchat filter, and her racism has to be taken from some mega old teen movie from like, what, the 80s? Trang Pak is a grosky little biatch. Whatever. Sophie fucking racist skank. Sorry, miss. Shouldn't swear. Just comes out sometimes. Anyway, joke's on her, because I think I actually prefer it in here with you, miss. In detention. Not much to do at home anyway. You saw my stepmom, right? She's a right fucking witch. Sorry. I mean, everyone thinks I look like her, and I think they just might be idiots. Because she's not even Chinese. So, like, she's not even Chinese. I know I swear too much. It's just how I express myself. Guess you can call it an art form. Do you know why she wrote that on my locker, miss? Sophie. There's this mad rumour going on about me and a certain PE teacher. Don't have to spell it out, do I? Me. A student and a teacher. Now that's imaginative. Scandalous, though. Nothing like the good old-fashioned criminal activity to really fuck up a school rep. Sorry. But you do believe me, don't you, Miss B? Wait a minute. Is that why I'm here? Is that really why I'm here? Not because of the whole locker thing. So the school thinks a student is sleeping with a 35-year-old PE teacher and put me in a detention. Is it gonna be like an investigation? Are you going to interrogate me? This is going to be fun, isn't it? Or do you want to hear something really fucked up, miss?
But you've only had one drink. It's my first work social. I'm bright red. And Johnson, my senior associate, is 4 beers in. It's like a reaction to alcohol. A lot of Asians, actually. My God! He grabs the lobster off my plate. This is you! And from then on, it's lobster everything. Memos on my desk, socks, oven mitts, and finally, at the office Christmas party, this. Bam! Johnson's meaty hand pounds my back. Go on, lobster. Put it on. The office erupts. Put it on! Put it on! I flee to the bathroom. Johnson. I bet he's not prepared for tomorrow's meeting. Fuck. Should I help? I'm pathetic, so I sneak home and finish off his data analysis. Next day, the office stinks of booze. At 3 p.m, Loretta storms in just as a loud wretch comes from near Johnson's bin. Fuck it, Zhang, you're with me. Shit. We're walking to the HanJie meeting. Sweat sticks to my arse. I'm gonna be sick. But it's all okay because we smash it and they love my data analysis. Back in the office, I'm a rock star, a god. The other juniors are in awe. Closing that kind of deal with Loretta in my first year, it's unheard of. Johnson comes over, almost crying with relief. Listen, I don't know what I would have done without you today. Loretta's already been on my case, so I think you really saved your ass. No, I need to cut back. Anyway, I appreciate ya. Lobster. 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 I decide to invite Johnson for a drink. He says no, but I trap him with the old, "Come on, Johnson, you can hack one with your little lobster." I attempt a backslap. It works, and by the end of the night, Johnson can barely walk. 5 beers in, I put the costume on. Force Johnson to do 4 shots in exchange for me pouring Diet Pepsi on myself and pretending to get boiled alive. "Oh, great bonding," I say, trying to get him in the Uber. "Don't touch me." Johnson shoves a big hand in my face. "Fuck off, lobster cunt!" He trips on the curb and drops his keys on the floor. The Uber drives off. No one's around. I put his keys in my pocket. He's collapsed on some bin bags. I gently pry his phone from his hand and remove his shoes. I feel a piss coming. I unzip. On my way home, I throw his stuff in the river. Next day, Johnson stumbles into the office, 2 hours late, still drunk and stinking of piss. Since he's been gone, no one really calls me lobster anymore. I kinda miss it.
A plus B equals... You what? Algebra, man, like whatever. I am shit at maths. Like, I know when someone's trying to con me in a taxi when I go abroad to see the relatives. But I've always preferred English lit. Mum and Dad were proper happy that I started reading really early until they found out that I was rubbish in maths. Which makes them embarrassed because Mum's an architect, so she works with calculations all the time, and Dad was a maths teacher. He does classes online on YouTube now, and I'm like, "Nah, Dad, I ain't subscribing." Sorry. He's got millions of viewers. That's how he earns his money these days. And to be honest, I think it's got to his head. Anyway, I remember I got so addicted to reading as a kid, I had to hide my storybook in the middle of my maths book and pretend I was doing long equations. I just copied the answers at the back of the book. When my parents found out, they were proper pissed. So Mum tried teaching me maths, but I couldn't understand her, and it got more confused and just got worse. So I paid someone to do my maths homework. I know, getting and spending relay waste our powers. But I just couldn't hack the subject anymore, you know? And my exams were coming up, and I knew I was going to fuck it up, even though my coursework was stellar. 'Cause it weren't really mine. That's when Dad took over. He'd just quit his job. There was way too much homework for him with all that marking. And he kept on getting racist shit in class. So he taught me a bit instead. Then some of our cousins,
Then word got around, and that's how he became a private maths tutor. The next thing you know, he discovers social media and starts talking at the camera where people can't chat back at him and disrespect him, and then boom! He gets all these followers. I think he prefers working from home. Ugh. Mum jokes it's my fault he ain't got a proper job now. I'm like, what? He's living the dream now. They're like chalk and cheese, Mum and Dad are. I think maths is the only thing they got in common. They met at uni studying it. I still hate the subject though. I mean, what am I going to do with measuring triangles for? In the end, I got a C for maths, and man, the look on my parents' faces. It was like I just totally shat on their dreams. Gorgor tells me it's because they think I can't get a job just by reading storybooks. Anyway, I went to college and did my A-levels in English Lit. I do like me a bit of Wordsworth and Shaw's there. Those years were hard though. My parents would pretend not to notice when I brought home books to study because it didn't involve the family trade. So I studied in the library at college. Almost got mugged coming home when I stayed a bit too late. Didn't tell anyone though, otherwise they'd blame me. After college, I did an internship at my local rag, and you know what? I've just managed to nab myself a full-time job, which means my name is going to be on that newspaper showing lots of people I got me a proper career. I told my family over dinner about my promotion, and they were all acting like I changed the pillowcase. But you know, the next evening, there was a stack of antique books all gift-wrapped waiting for me in my room when I came back home from work. It's an old collection of books from Shaw's and Wordsworth. And it's just got one signature on it, and it's from Dad. He's only gone and signed it off with a poem from Wordsworth. My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. So was it when my life began, so is it now I am a man. So be it when I shall grow old, or let me die. The child is the father of the man, and I could wish my days to be bound each to each by natural piety. Bit much that, but thanks, Dad.
Excuse me, hi. Yeah, do you know where they're holding interviews for the new season conductor? I know I'm kinda late, but... Rude? He just walked straight past me, can you believe that? Okay. Regina's plan for every eventuality, section 23, annex 6, in the event something happens that undermines your confidence right before the interview of your life. A, find a quiet spot. B, power pose. C, channel your inner Lizzo. Okay, you can do this, Regina. You are going to make history. You are going to be the first email conductor of this orchestra. Shit. Did I just say email? You are going to be the first fuck. I just did again. Female conductor. Female. Regina's plan for every eventuality, section 7, failure. Action point 1, don't. Don't let yourself think it. Don't let yourself feel it. Don't let yourself consider the possibility of failure. Failure is for people who are too scared to dream. Failure is for people who don't work as hard as you. Failure is for people who don't have a plan for every eventuality. Failure is... inevitable. Who am I kidding? I'm not even concertmaster. Well, I've been concertmaster, obviously. Most of us have. All through school, then at your local youth orchestras, and then we all get here and I'm second chair violin. Sorry, principal second violin. But who brags about that? It's like when my 4-year-old nephew told me that he was put in the advanced bubble blower swim class. Principal second violin. I might as well be wearing inflatable arm floaties. And you know what the worst part is? They have a literal teenager playing first. I mean, acne, braces, a creepy little pube stash, the works. The only thing I should be playing is Fortnite. I mean, this kid can barely operate a motor vehicle, yet somehow they're letting him play first for Bartok. Come on. I sound like a jaded old hag, but you don't get it. Music is my life. And I know I'm special just like everyone else, but I love music. I love it. And I know what the word means, you patronizing fuck. I know that it's a choice, that it's hard work, that it takes more from you than you feel you can give sometimes, yet you still keep on giving because there's nothing in this world that matters more. And where the fuck are these interviews? Hi, excuse me. Hi, can you... Seriously, you're not even gonna stop? Nice. It's not even my fault. I'm late. Well, it's kind of my fault. I should have been looking where I was going instead of... I got hit by a car. Okay, not a big deal. I'm fine. I'm here, aren't I? The driver was some rich housewife, and she was even more freaked out than I was. She was like crying and screaming and like, oh my god, She had a lot of work done. And she had this white Pomeranian thing in front that would just not shut up. Like, that's what happens when you put the brain of a wolf in a body of a squirrel, right? I could not hear myself think. Well, luckily I didn't have to. Regina's plan for every eventuality, section 9, scenario 2. If surrounded by idiots in a high-stress situation, stay calm, stay gracious, and get the fuck out of there. So now I'm here. Slightly delayed, but fine. Not a scratch on me. I'm not even sore. Pretty miraculous, actually, considering how fast her Range Rover was coming around the corner and... Well, then I was here. But hey, that's the power of planning, right? If you're prepared for every eventuality, you can overcome anything in life. I am more than a second chair violinist. One day they'll see it. Maybe even today if I can just find that damn room. Hi, excuse me, hi. What am I, invisible here? Hey!
Of course you liked it. I mean, what's not to like? And you? Yeah, you were great. One of the best I've ever had. No, seriously. Stop. I know what you're gonna say, everyone says it. Firstly, no, I'm not especially big for a Chinese guy. That's just you being brainwashed by generations of bullshit racist stereotypes. But hey, if you've got it. And secondly, no, my parents don't know I do this. And sorry, I don't know what my parents would think of it because I don't know who they are. And even if I did, why shouldn't they be proud of me? Putting myself through medical school all by my lonesome? I've got the brains to run the business and I'm cute to boot. And yeah, I'm making money doing something that I really like doing, and that I'm damn good at, if I do say so myself. And I'm still going to be a doctor anyway, so whatever. Asian parents' dream. What would my parents think? It's so cliche. What would your parents think? You, here with me. Or your wife. What's the big deal? You had fun, and I made some cash. I provide a service that you want, and that a lot of other people want. A great service at that. Mind-blowing. Isn't that what you said? Nothing wrong there. But watch yourself. Watch who you're paying, because not everyone's got what I got. One of my other clients, he told me about so I went, just to check it out. Maybe you could say I was scoping out my competition. But it wasn't that. No way. Just stepping into that house. It wasn't right. Look, I like giving you what you want. And I like what you give me in return even better. But there are some of us in this industry that don't want to be doing this. Not everyone's getting paid for themselves. Not everyone likes to show off their skills like I do. Not everyone has a way out, you know that, right? Some people were promised dreams that they're never going to see. And they said okay with no idea what they were getting themselves into. And some people knew their parents. Even thought they'd be helping them out in the long run. But really, they'll never see them again. Do you think I'm a kid? Nah, these were kids. And they never wanted to come here in the first place. So you gotta watch out. So do I. Because you and me both, we have a responsibility to help. Because not everyone's got what I got. Some people don't have that choice. Now pay up. And text me when you're back in town.
Now that, right there, is a dead body. Hardly the ideal start to my day, but rarely do we get what we wish for. 这里有一个男孩子. Well, I suppose it wants to be called a man, a student, but he's a boy to me. 彼の指は緑です. Quite literally. Whatever he's been doing before digging this grave, it's dyed his fingertips the colour of grass. A gardener. A botanist, perhaps. A dime a dozen florist. One would think, with a job like mine, that I'd enjoy talking to people. Well, I can safely say, hundreds of years down the line, that I do not enjoy talking to people. Do not enjoy mediating their arguments, do not enjoy this, whatever this is. This boy's mess. In my day, in my childhood, boys like me were special. Not special enough, of course, for the soft clothes or the full stomach, but special. When you transcend one thing, you transcend all else. You walk a higher path. And as much as I despise it, I am, quite against my will, very good at my job. So, I have lived. In heavens, how I have lived. Unthanked, unwelcomed, unknown. No. Not unknown. Disappeared. So, this boy had an axe to grind, perhaps. もし彼が私の実態に生まれていたら、二人ともこの役割を出していただろう。Respected, venerated, a higher being that perceives the world as more than two. Though, of course, it's not easy being us. He at least has access to these physicians. Incompetent as they are, he can be transformed from the inside out should he so wish. I may be an immortal, but that, to me, is magic. When we think of arguments, we think of war, or at least this boy's people do. This time's people. War and winning. His acid tongue defeated me. Their strategies flawed and weak. She never stood a chance. On and on these words of war. Ik ben zeker dat ik het uit hem zou kunnen plagen. Hem zou kunnen ontluisteren. Hem zou kunnen opruimen als een zwerver. Hem trainen om meer op mij te lijken. Mijn beschermeling in tijd en vrede. If I told this boy what I could do, I would be unto him like a god. A potential for endless thanks and eternal devotion. A shrine, perhaps, and offerings. A festival, a holy day. Scriptures, zealots, bigots, prayer houses, community. 他们会为我编造什么样的人生和谎言 But I suppose I'm too lazy to be a god. I doubt very many gods go through their day-to-day with as little enthusiasm as I. No, I would resent godlike status. And then from spite, I would punish this child and his new children, make my escape and then leave them to their subsequent wars. Yes, I am comfortable in this thankless invisibility. I will be needed elsewhere when tomorrow comes, with some other lost young thing and some other name to call me. Then I'll be that helping hand, that stranger with a calming presence, and he'll have that second chance. If that's all I can give, with all these years behind me, I give it freely.
You don't know me, but I know everything about you. Everything you could possibly ask. Is my wife cheating? Will I get a promotion? And then there are the things you don't ask.
The things you don't want to know.
Except you do.
Hi. How are you feeling? That was me in your head a moment ago. The voice telling you all the things you knew deep down but were in denial of. In other words, I was the voice of your intuition. What? You don't think this is what your intuition looks like?
What did you expect? Don't worry, I'm not offended. When I was a trainee, the centre had a really hard time filling my schedule. The clients want someone they can relate to. At first, management thought I'd help them diversify, but Chinese people don't do therapy. If you're depressed, it means you're lazy. Ask my parents. You can't afford to be depressed when you're scrubbing toilets or deep frying spring rolls for £20 a day. I had a degree in psychology, student debt, and I didn't know how I was going to pay the rent. My future looked bad. I was desperate. So I called one of those numbers in the classified section, next to the horoscopes and adult ads. My first reading was with a woman named Psychic Melinda. I picked her because she looked like Morticia Adams. At first, I was worried that she'd say things like, "You'll die penniless and alone at the age of 27. But she was really nice. She told me everything was going to be fine. It just wouldn't work out the way I'd expected. She said I had hidden talents I hadn't discovered yet, and I wasn't going to end up homeless, which was a relief because I just spent £25 for a half-hour reading, which seemed like a lot at the time. Now I make... Just think of this as an investment in yourself. Your future, happier, more fulfilled self. I felt better after talking to Melinda. And I realised it was kind of like therapy. So I bought some tarot cards and I learned to read. And then I got into crystals and astrology and pendulums. I don't need to use tools anymore. I can tap right into your energy field, just like that. Really, it's the most ordinary thing. Want me to show you? Intuition. That voice in your head you spend your life trying to shut out. The one that says, "What are you waiting for? Stop thinking and do it already." I know this isn't what you were expecting. No one expects a psychic to be normal. Don't lie. I can't get a date because men assume I can read their minds and all the dirty thoughts, as if I'd want to. It's not about divining the future, but about noticing what's inside right now. That's the real mystery. Are you scared or excited? Are you expecting the worst? Do you believe you can be anything you want? I do. I have no idea what the future holds. You're on your own. I want you to begin by closing your eyes. Now take a deep breath. Release everything that's been on your mind. Let it all out. Relax. Inhale. Exhale. Now, think about your question. Focus on what you want to know. Inhale. Exhale. Wait for the answer. Be open. Listen.
Are you okay? Yeah? Definitely. Okay, good. Because what the fuck were you thinking? We are lucky Kath was on shift today, otherwise you'd be answering to the police and then Mum instead of me, although you might prefer the police because I am going to kill you. You know how much I love this shop. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be at dance. Do you fucking know what you were stealing? I haven't seen you do art since finger painting in play school. Huh? Wait. What? Where did you get that idea from? Because that is my business. Do you know how much Mum spends on us just to keep us all going? You think I'm gonna ask her for money? Do you know how painful it is to see her check her wallet, count out her notes and coins and shake her head just because I want a new top? And she tells me she's sorry. She feels like she has to apologise to me. Those fucking stores, they don't even pay taxes. Mum pays more than they do, so why should I give money to them? And it's so easy with those corporations, because I know what they see when I walk in. It's always, hello? Oh, where are you from? No, really? You know, I went there on holiday once. I love your people. They're so polite. So I smile and I take what I want from those shops. They can afford it, they won't even notice. No, this is different, because this is a small independent art shop, and I know the people here, they're nice. It's not, no it isn't, it's not, it isn't. No it isn't. I know what I'm doing. I'm saving everything for Mum. Why do you think I'm in that shitty call centre every single Saturday? You think I like taking call after call? Listening to some spoilt man-child who's ringing me from a phone that's worth $1,000. Mum spends all her money trying to raise us. You think she got money for a pension? For retirement? She doesn't have one. We are the retirement plan. We are supposed to look after her when she's old, just like she's looking after us now. We are not like the kids at our school. No matter how many of their parties you go to, they get pocket money, all from the bank of Mum and Dad. Well, don't talk about, don't you mention him. No, because you don't remember what it was like when he was leaving, and he knows that you don't remember, and he loves it. So you get to be his little perfect boy, and it feels like you're his favourite, and it's great. He gets to come into our life when he wants and leave again when he feels like it. Oh, he does that. I remember. Not even giving Mum the dignity of leaving properly. Just coming back and forth from that woman's house to pick up the bits and pieces he forgot. Me being terrified he'll take me with him, but also not wanting to be one of the things he leaves behind. Telling me he fell in love with someone else. Like you can suddenly stop loving your own family. He mixes up our birthdays, did you know that? Huh? Really? Did I drop you on the head as a baby? You want to get me a birthday present? Don't steal from my favourite shop and get caught. Come on, let's go home. No, I won't tell Mum, but you owe me massively. No, I'm not teaching you. You are not doing this again. Not even the big ones. Come on. Come on.
What is wrong with me? Just do it. Just get it right. I know it's perfect. I know it. I just need to go through the steps again. One more time. Just one more time.
That flesh, so
so tender. Los onions. I'm gonna put those onions. How long do I saute them for again? You know. That smell. So scrumptious. I know. You know. Why are you wasting your time with this? You know what to do. Just following the steps again. Steps, stages are not but a fleeting and futile endeavor, Harry. You know what you must do. Stop! Stop with your poetic bullshit! I don't need whatever you're bringing to me. I got this far without you. But did you? Me and you are one and the same. We travel and traverse these peaks and valleys together. I was there, Harry. I was there when you plunged your knife into his neck, and I was there as you served him with salted eggs and soy. How joyfully exotic. Those flavors coalescing with his blood and sinew. Perfect mix for those untrained palates. You knew, didn't you? How that combination would hit that spot. Deep, deep down. That was an accident. That smell. I was the joy which bubbled up from inside when it struck, wasn't I? That piney. So succulent. And it was right there. What are you going to do? Just leave it? What a waste. You weren't part of the waste. You came at me. I did what I had to. You do have such an eclectic sense of humor, Harry. Let's not dance this dance, my boy. Do you know? I don't know. You think you know what I really want? This isn't me. It's not me. All I want is a bit of success. That's it. What's wrong with getting a small piece of that pie? I deserve it! And you? You're just a ghost. Figment of my delusion. Nobody talks or thinks like you do. Flight and fury. Flight and fury. What the fuck are you saying? I am fury. And you are flight. What the fuck are you saying? Listen to me! Listen for once in your goddamn pathetic life. Will you listen and obey? I know what you really, truly want. No, not want. Need. Think about what they've done. What they've done to you. Your kin. That racist piece of shit deserved being sliced and diced and flambéed into oblivion. The world is hard enough as it is. It's oppressive, it's suffocating. And you know it to be true. But you have power now. That knife you have is power. Power, which presents itself as an opportunity not to be wasted. Like meat. So what you're saying is, I should do it again. Not should. Need. For you. For me. For the good of this world. What would you say to those ghosts who had no choice but to succumb to the degeneracy of those rich, sniveling, wasteful sloths? Your knife is their voice. My knife is their voice. To end it all. We're still waiting. So what will you do now? I'm gonna cook. You're going to kill. Ah!
Face like
You're on the precipice. Virgin? Thought so. But hey, you got an earnest face. I could almost trust you. The girl in that photograph, she dreamt of struggle and felt split in two most of the time. My mother gave that guitar to me on my 13th birthday. Beautiful woman. Grew up in Daraga, in the Philippines. A town that sits in the shadow of a mountain. Nope. Not a mountain. A volcano. The Mayan volcano. The color of the sky, it's electric. Like America. Best country. My mother used to say it was a town that was engineered in the beauty of God's creation. My father would roll his eyes. She was a complex woman. Never fully understood her. Wanted to. But you don't want to hear about this. What he really wanted to ask me is, so what's it like being a woman in music? Huh? What's it like being a woman in a male-dominated industry in the second wave of feminism? Why don't you ask me how I write a riff? Or a bridge? Or when I hear Clapton play? Or Morrison and I hear that one note, right? Falling up to the lead section. And you inhabit it. It's as if that one single chord is a cry of anguish. I don't know. Well, alright then. Born in Manila, raised Catholic. Daddy and mommy wanted to raise us the way they were raised. Permission, confession, contrition. Blah, blah, blah. Real handy when you've got 10 gigs a week and last time you bathed was at a truck stop saying, say no to drugs, kids. Don't get me wrong, we loved our time at Catholic school, Assumption College. The sisters were something else. Strict. Oh, but we loved that. Sadomasochistic, like. I remember she was giving a sermon at dinner. I don't know what came over me. Wasn't divinity. I just walked out of the room and there was this little girl outside playing guitar. It was delicate, pure. I wanted desperately to feel that way, whatever way that was. And then of course Mother Milagros beat me in front of all the girls, right here. Lesson of humility. That was the moment I knew music would be my life. You see, in the guitar, it's got a, in the photograph, it's got a small, handmade, mother of pearl inlay. Got lost in a flight back from Rome. Fuck off! Got lost in a flight back from Rome and, goddamn, I could not tell my mother. She was the one who taught us to believe in ourselves, to persevere, despite the othering from those pretentious, prolific rock gods who can only play on LSD. And then she got cancer, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if all this inner turmoil is boring or depressing you to fucking death, because my mother died last night, so. She died. Of course she did last night. Can you go? Get out!
Alright then. Hi, name is Gaia. You got me. Wasn't the uniform that gave me away? The aliens aren't exactly blessed in reality equipment. Oh, and I'm not an alien though. No close encounter for you, sorry. I know what you're thinking. Imposter. Spy. Traitor. Call me whatever you like. I don't mind. Oh, did you know that I helped with the second wave? That was fun! The whole district was wiped out. Refreshed. Cleansed. Back to basic. Should have treated you better when your life had a chance. I don't feel guilty though. It's weird, right? I guess I never felt like I was part of society. It's not like killing my parents, right? Never fitted in. Why does anyone need to fit in anyway? Gaia, you're such a freak, they said. Just because I look different and dress differently? I mean, I dress the same now. Fucking uniform still didn't get me anywhere. Am I right? Not that I wanted to get anywhere. The aliens are lovely though. What do you mean, murderers? As if humans don't kill, they had my parents killed after all. If anything, the aliens did the earth a favor. Have you seen how blue the sky is now? I thought gray was its natural color. And the air doesn't fucking smell like pee for once. The second wave was even better. Not because I helped them. Obviously because I helped them. I saw what it was like after the first wave. You guys were nasty. Just because there's no one enforcing the law, whoever has a gun has the power. Do you know what happens in a blackout? Crime. Robbing, killing, raping. What is wrong with you people? Fortunately for the world, the second wave killed them. You're very welcome. So, that was my first job. Meaningful, right? Again, I don't feel guilty. Don't tell me I killed innocent people. I haven't seen one single person who's innocent. The aliens aren't exactly chatterboxes, sure. But they fed me. Gave me shelter. That's more than any human has ever done for me. And I feel great. They chose me to work for them, not some MI6 dude. Me. I am the chosen one. I am the only human among them. The only human. Anyway, I haven't spoken English in a very long time, so thank you for listening. Again, I'm very chill in this kind of situation right now. I'm the spy here after all. But don't you worry. I have taken care of everything. Remember I was touching my earpiece? It's cool if you don't. You won't even wake up tomorrow. I'm so sorry you have to miss a third wave, you poor thing. There's so much we have planned. Alright, bad luck.
You cannot refuse me. We are bound together by blood. It pains me to see you become so soft. You are a fool to think that there can be middle ground, a place where you can sit at the table breaking bread with a man as if you are equal. This is not how revolutions are won. And believe me when I tell you, life is one great revolution. And those who do not see that are like ants in a colony, short-sighted. I can see he's got to you. I didn't believe it myself until now, but I can see. There is doubt in your eyes. Tell me what he told you. What are the things he whispers in your ear? That you're special, beautiful, intelligent, strong. No, he made you promises. Tell me. What button did he press for you to open those legs to him? It's so cheap. There have been many before you, and there will be many after, who have fallen for this promise, this picture of nirvana. Where am I in this, I wonder? The enemy, the evil witch, bitter and twisted from thwarted desires. Watch out, little sister. Ambition is a sickness that does not discriminate. We give men the power to turn us women against each other. He doesn't see you. He doesn't see anything but the desire to possess. And you, little sister, are falling right into his hands. You're more than this. You're a fighter. You're a warrior. A leader, even. I degraded myself. Crawled my way up. For the belief that when I became queen, I could rise above it all. Right the wrongs that have been done against me. Yes, I wear a crown on my head. I wear heavy jewels. When I walk through halls, men kneel around me. But it's an illusion. It means nothing. And I'm in a room with him. I'm nothing but a child. A frightened child. And I am done. The words from his mouth are ashes. Believe me. We both have our parts to play. There are things that I cannot do that you can do. He can walk down the street, have friends, be anonymous. Every waking moment I question the loyalty of the people around me. I question their smiles and their seemingly kind words. I know as soon as my back is turned, their tongues change from gold to rust. You feel I abandoned you. I understand. But these are not the times for petty sibling squabbles. I cannot do it alone. You are close. It's time to act. Choose.
Baby, look at me. Baby, look at me. I know what this looks like. I know it looks bad, but it's not, okay? Just listen and let me explain, yeah? All right? That okay? Baby, I love you. Remember that, I fucking love you. Sorry, I'm just a bit stressed at the moment, so forgive me if I don't act like myself, yeah? It's all right, it'll be over soon, then we can get back to things. Yeah, so you remember Frankie from work, right? Yeah, the one with the hair, you remember. Well, we've been working closely together on this project, this big client we've got. Remember the one I told you about? Yeah. Well, you see, we, how should I put this? So, we were just about to finish the project, I mean, and, we'd spent weeks on this? And we head to the main office and we hand everything in and it's great, all that hard work paid off. And so Frankie, well, and me, I suppose, or should I say Frankie and I, thought that maybe we should celebrate just a bit, you know, just a bit. And so we head to our office, and Frankie has this bottle just for the occasion. We drink a bit, just a bit, and, you know, chat and laugh and, you know, all sorts, really. I love you, you know that, right? I do. I want you to be happy, and I want to be completely honest with you. No secrets, remember? To keep everything out in the open, just like you always say to me. I don't mean to freak you out, it's okay. And before you think it, I haven't killed anyone. Like, I realise it came across a bit like that, yeah, but no, I haven't killed anyone. Sorry, I'm making this harder than it is. So, like I was saying, Frankie and I were having drinks, and we started chatting, you know, just about stuff, but after, what, must have been a couple of hours, I don't know, we started to connect, and we had sex. We fucked each other's brains out in the office when everyone had gone home, and it was fucking electric. Oh my lord. Oh my god. That feels great. I'm sorry, but I feel like this big weight has been lifted off me, you know? Baby, you know I love you. You know I care deeply about you, but it's just not working out. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. It just doesn't work. This, okay? I mean, we've tried, and that's all we can do, you know? No, please just don't touch me, okay? I don't know how else to say this, but I'm just not happy. I mean, I don't know what else you want, because I try, honestly, I do. I try so hard to make you feel happy and loved, but I don't feel as if I get that in return. And I don't want you saying you'll change or whatever. I'm ending things, okay? I don't want to hear anything. I just need space. Fuck. No, don't you dare start crying. Let me finish first, then when I go, you can cry your eyes out, alright? I'm not gonna let you become the victim in this. I'm not the bad guy, but I'm not saying you're the bad guy either. Oh, fuck. No. Don't cry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my voice. No. You know what? I'm not gonna apologize anymore. This isn't about you. Cry all you want, but I can't let that stop me. Do you see what's happening? The world doesn't revolve around you. This isn't about you. I have needs too. I gotta sort my mental health out, you know? It's not your fault. I mean, it's just frustrating. You give me all these rules. You tell me I can't do this, can't do that. I have to dress a certain way. I have to act a certain way. It's tiring. It's just not who I am. I mean, you won't even let me fucking swear. Where's the fun in that? Christ, then you always say, you need me. No, you don't. You don't need me. We've only been going out for a few months, and yeah, of course, I care about you. I do, but it's alright. We're just not compatible. I know for a fact that in about a month, you're gonna forget all about this, and you're gonna meet someone who's much better than me, and you're gonna just click. And I thought it better to just be honest and get it over and done with than just hang around for another few months. I just want to be comfortable, you know? Where I can breathe, I can be myself. And if I have to do something as drastic as this, and obviously something isn't working between us, look, I know that sounds like a shitty excuse, but what can I say? It's true. Look, I'm gonna go. For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
The number you have dialed has not been recognized. Please check and try again.
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations. Congratulations. Tuesday. You get married on a Tuesday. You were born on a Tuesday, I remember you told me. You get married and I go to the supermarket to cheer myself up. I walk the big Sainsbury's eating a bag of peanut M&Ms I swiped from the confectionery aisle. Some of the peanuts have gone a bit stale, but I eat it anyway. I go to the back of the store looking for milk. I pick a bottle of the good stuff. The gold cap stuff with all that cream floating on top. And no one stops me. They never do. I look harmless enough. I keep my clothes on, I don't smell too bad, I don't lecture them about the end of the world by the spaghetti hoops. I leave them to their assumptions. Maybe they think I'm desperate. Maybe they think I'm diabetic. Either way, no one stops me. I walk past and they walk away. We leave each other alone. I drink my milk across the counter from a deli lady who's sweating and slicing up a leg of ham. She does a shoddy job and the meat comes out in tatters like a chewed up dish rag. If you were there, you would have lost your mind. You would have pissed yourself laughing. When she's done, she looks up and looks through me. She blinks and looks straight through me, and I stand very, very still. And I feel like a pillar of salt. You get married on a Tuesday. I drive around our hometown with a stomachache. I drive past our old school. I remember ditching chemistry to drink Le Crusade on fire escape. Our pockets bulging with fizzy laces and pop rings, blue raspberry and bubble gum. You chipped your tooth on the hard-boiled jewel and started crying when I laughed. Later, the broken edge of it grazed my lips as you leant forward to shut me up. My parents see the wedding photos on Facebook and my dad says you look very Californian. He says you're a smart, pretty girl and it's such a shame that you turned out this way. He says it's probably good that you moved away when you did. What with me being so impressionable back then. I sneaked a look at the wedding photos and saw that you smiled the perfect smile. Your dentist did a good job. Your wedding cake is a profiterole tower glittering in gold flakes. You wear red, and your wife wears white. She's taller than you, and wear gardenias in her hair, and you look very Californian together.
They talk about survival as if we don't know how it feels in this diaspora. For our foundations to slip right through our fingers into the hands of the other. I am tired of getting attached to things that don't last forever. Yet here I am, constantly looking for a forever. She didn't understand what I was trying to say. And most of the time she doesn't understand what I mean in what I say. And I don't think she realizes it either. It's all just a misunderstanding. It's just the meaning of something gets so lost when it's being transferred. Like when I tell her I'm sad, she thinks it's temporary. Like sadness in English could mean anything, but to her, couldn't possibly be much. To her, anyway. You can translate a language, but you really can't translate feelings. How am I supposed to be myself and tell her who I am if everything just gets lost in translation? How am I supposed to feel at home when I can't even do this? Mama got me dim sum to say ban lai for graduating. I was sulking at the table when she asked me, how's it, Ma? And as usual, I said, how's it? And then she got angry at me for being angry instead of asking why I was angry. So then I told her, you just shouldn't have come to my graduation because you were complaining the whole time and you made me feel stupid. And she just got up and went to get more dim sum from the fresh batch that she made this morning for everyone at the table. Maybe she did understand. I was angry, not fully, but knew that I was frustrated because she didn't fight back. Mama got up early this morning to prepare the food. In the hours where it's silent because it's so early that it feels wrong to be awake. There's a lot of unspoken rules about eating in Asian culture. Food speaks so much louder than any language ever could. I mean, sharing food around the table. Mama would always give me the bigger bowl because she didn't want me to go hungry. And she'd leave cut up fresh fruit on my desk after dinner. And even though I can't speak to Amma in Chinese, I'd always make sure to fill up her cup of tea whenever I saw that it was empty. Rice and vegetables in a bento box when I was ashamed and wanted everyone's Lunchables and jelly cups in the school dining hall. I don't want to feel angry or helpless. I won't feel angry or helpless. The feeling of belonging is in what is done, not in what is said. What we say can never be paramount to what we do. When I die, I hope it's not in vain. Belonging can never come full circle until I realize that I am okay with ever not fully knowing. I mean, I'm always gonna want to know what I am, who I could have been, where I should have gone. Not having all the fragments of my Chinese heritage, but knowing that belonging is in when someone says, Sifan, or knowing the best place in town to take your friends out for dim sum or hot pot. Maybe the fact that we all do not know how to belong as a complete one is what makes us truly belong.
Every morning in our team meeting, Sean puts coffee in front of me. I don't even need to be there. I write the obituaries. Not that anyone else cares. Today's news, tomorrow's trash. But I work hard. We all do. Mama's worked 2 jobs for as long as I can remember. My grandmother too, in between raising me. Before that, she had this amazing life. I'd get so jealous hearing about it. I want to have a life like that. She was officially diagnosed with Alzheimer's 2,191 and a half days ago. 6 years to the day. We talked about the euthanasia at the start, but it isn't a thing here. You can't help someone end their life even if they want to. Even if doctors agree it's for the best, it's murder, not compassion. A life sentence, 25 years, 300 months, maybe less for good behavior. It kept getting worse. It was fast too. We'd get a brief glimpse of her, and she would remember everything. But those moments were filled with sadness and confusion. Alzheimer's strips you of everything that makes you who you are. When she died, she was 73 years and 3 months old. 26,754 days. 6,420,092 hours, give or take. If you saw her at the end, you'd understand. She used to be so strong. I want to remember her like that. We couldn't afford to take her somewhere like Luxembourg or Spain. In the end, the guilt was too much for Mom. She went straight to the police and told them that she did it. She's 48. If she's found guilty of murder by the time she gets out of the prison, she'll be the same age as my grandmother was when she died. My grandmother hated what she'd become. She was scared all the time, never knowing where she was. She was ready, you know? When you weighed up the pros and cons, it made sense. This wasn't murder, this was a kindness. Mom shouldn't go to prison. If I confess, I'd be 49, 50 by the time I got out. By that age, my grandmother had traveled across the world, studied a new life in a new language, and raised Mom all by herself. And I'd never get to do any of that if I go to prison. That's 300 months. 9,131 and a quarter days. 290,150 hours. I killed her. I couldn't watch her suffer anymore. Mom didn't even know about it. Afterwards, I held her in my arms. She looked so small, like a child. I'll have to live with that every day. 290,150 hours. 30,149,000 minutes. 788,940,000 seconds with nothing but memories. What would you do?
Hi, it's so nice to see you. And see people, right? It's so weird, but in a good way. I am certain that things here are just going to be fine. Like, we'll be fine. I know this. They were playing this at the vet. When I was younger, I really wanted a pet. I actually wanted a puppy. On my 8th birthday, my mom decided to surprise me. And I was so excited. Did you get me a puppy? No. Oh. But then I saw the cutest guinea pig in the world. She had golden brown fur and a pink nose. When I held her, it was like she was seeing the world for the very first time. I looked into her innocent, trusting eyes, and I knew right away that she was family. I named her Nai Cha, which is milk tea in Cantonese, my dad's favorite drink. Dad is very serious, and he doesn't like to talk. So when he come home from work, I would put Nai Cha on his chest, and he would sit very awkwardly and looked at me like, what do I do? But when he started stroking Nai Cha, you could tell that he softened up. And I would sit there on the floor watching Dad and Nai Cha, even just for 5 minutes. And he would get up and go back to his room, and I would cuddle Nai Cha and whisper, thank you for helping Dad relax. But 2 years later, her health suddenly got bad. We found out there were problems with her teeth. She wasn't eating properly and she was always tired. And we went to the vet and everything, but they couldn't really do anything. They told me to prepare for the worst. But guinea pigs were supposed to live for 3 to 5 years, so I made sure she was eating. I checked on her every morning and every night. I made sure, I was certain she wasn't going. One Sunday morning, I woke up to find her with her eyes half closed, lying still. I woke my parents up. We have to take her to the vet, we have to save her. And there I was at the vet's. The music was playing. My dad kept asking them questions. My mom kept stroking my back, trying to reassure me that everything was fine. This melody kept on going and going, but I was just waiting there, not knowing. I kept seeing Nai Cha lying still. A close-up of her eyes, flickering between the first time she saw me, those innocent and trusting eyes, and those half-closed, lifeless eyes. The music went on and on, choking the chords, choking the noises in my head. And they gave her back to me in a small box. I reached in to touch her, and she was so cold, and I retracted. I asked my mom, why did this happen? My mom took my hands and held Nai Cha with me one last time before we closed her box. I'm so sorry. God, I'm so sorry. Why am I talking about my own pet when so many people have lost their loved ones? Like, I'm lucky. I'm really so lucky. My family has been fine throughout this pandemic. They're fine. It's just so stupid. I'm sorry. God, and it was a long time ago as well. Like, just that the thought of saying goodbye. If anything happened to my mom and dad in Hong Kong, if I couldn't get back in time, if I have to say goodbye through a screen,
Norfolk's boring. I mean, a few years ago, I was so restless. Mum said I should go to university, Dad said I should get a job. They were on my back every day. I mean, thank God for my brother's hay fever. It was the perfect excuse. If you lend me some money, I'll start a beehive. The honey will boost Jimmy's immunity. I mean, they'll believe anything I say. Idiots. And after a year, I sold enough honey and beeswax to buy my second hive. Now I have 24. I pay my way, Mum and Dad leave me alone, and Jimmy's hay fever improved. When I was a kid, I would watch ants for days under a magnifying glass. I accidentally set one on fire. It rushed into the nest and the whole thing went up. Whoosh! Beautiful. The best thing I'd seen. I used Mum's tweezers to pick up the charred ants' heads, piled them in a matchbox like small Cambodian skulls, and buried it in the garden. Mum used to label boxes for everything. Our toy cars, Lego. I did the same. Frog's legs, bird's wings, then a cat's head, and a chihuahua. Yappy little thing. Putting them in different boxes. Click-clack Purcell to Mum's latest shoebox. Nice and tidy, like my bees. I was having an ice cream the other day. It was sunny, so it melted. I was licking my fingers when this idiot, texting, walked into me. The 99 went all over his shirt. He jumped back and demanded an apology. I refused, and he hit me. The little fucker slapped my face. Luckily, I didn't have my knife. But I never forget a face. His name was Michael. And he worked in the funeral parlor. We could have been soulmates. He was cute. He was humming "Fly Me to the Moon" while painting a cadaver when I walked into the back room. "Hello, Michael. Remember me?" He was shocked and ordered me to leave. "Sure, after I show you my bees." I pulled down my beekeeper's veil, opened a jar of dead bees, in which I put drops of superglue. They stuck like flies on sticky paper. Michael screamed, thinking he was being attacked. Then he laughed. "Call yourself a beekeeper? You bloody prick, you can't even keep them alive." "Sure I can." I produced a large jar of bees, shook it, and they got really angry. Then I released them in his direction. Bees under attack release pheromones, calling for help. I had bottled enough dead bees' pheromones, so the others went crazy. As he fought, the more alarm signals were released, the greater the attack. His face and arms blistered red. Ugh. "Help! I'm allergic!" Really? He ballooned into the elephant man, gasping for breath, tripped and fell into a coffin, pushed his legs in, and he thrashed against the swarm. And I calmly closed the lid over the buzzing box. Nice and tidy.
My love, your eyes, they bulge. Your lips, they're cold. Your tongue, it's blue. like the blue raspberry sweets you keep in your desk, the ones you buy for me. You ate them. You promised you would never. You are so impressively still. Your gaze is so distant. Where are you? What do you see there? Of whom do you daydream? Is it me? I've never seen you still like this. I like it on you. Stillness. Quietude. Calm. Your skin. It's cold like mine always is. Your breath. Make it warm my neck like it always does. I don't feel it. Where is your warm breath? Why do you hold it? Breathe. Where are you? Why have you left? What's better than here? Story of my life. I read all the books on your reading list. I handed everything in on time. I aced every exam. You loved my work. You said my words, my thoughts were more than you could say or think yourself. Then you passed them on as your own. Liar! Do you remember the lies? I remember you lied. You left me standing outside. Outside your warmth. Outside the warmth of your house. All I could do was gaze in out in the cold. Reason. Listen. Wait. Try. Story of my life. No. No. Not my story anymore. Look at me. You're not looking at me. Tell me I'm pretty. Tell me of my thoughts. Tell me of my words. You're such a good listener. That's all I wanted. Your time, your ear, your eye. Oh. Your ears are so funny how they stick out like that. Oh. Your eyes are so funny how they bulge. You're such a good listener when you're still. What? Nothing. I've poured out my heart and off you pop somewhere else.
haven't told Mum about the pen. It's nothing special, this pen. It's just a biro. A biro that Mum gave me, that her insurance company gave her. But she told me it was lucky. I've had it since my hires, and now I can't find it. I haven't seen it since 3 days ago. The day my credit card got hacked. The day after that, I burned a roast chicken. The day after that, I tripped over on the street while a bunch of youths stood by and laughed. And today there was the poo. Oh, poor little Molly G. It's primary 1. Accidents come with the territory. They're practically babies. But even I wasn't expecting so much poo to come out of someone so small. So no, I haven't been having the best week. I call Mum, tell her about the credit card, and straight off she asks me if I've been sweeping the floor at night. Mum, she's so superstitious. There's a belief in the Philippines, you see, if you sweep the floor at night, it's bad luck. I never sweep the floor anyway. I vacuum it, I tell Mum. Then again, I haven't even vacuumed it lately. I didn't tell her that part. But I'm used to this. Don't go to bed with your hair wet. Don't sing while you're cooking. She told me all this stuff as a kid. Mum reckons I live too dangerously, that I'm inviting bad luck by ignoring her. She thinks I'm going to end up a spinster. Spoiler alert, I'm already well on my way. What does bad luck even mean anyway? In this economy? Have you seen the state of the world? People read too much into things. Mum's always buying lottery tickets based on significant dates. If she wins so much as a fiver, she thinks she's unlocked the code to the universe. In her world, everything has a story. Everything has a reason. But you make your own luck, right? That's what they say, the successful ones anyway. When life gives you lemons, blah, blah, blah. You can't let it define you. Certainly can't let a lost pen ruin your week. Let alone your life. I'm not superstitious. I had this friend during teacher training, Stephanie. We were close for a while, then she moved to Sheffield with her partner. We only kept in touch on Instagram, replying to each other's posts, you know. It seemed like she was doing well. I didn't see her post anything for a while, but during lockdown, a new post came up. Except it wasn't from Stephanie, it was from her partner, saying Stephanie had died. COVID. She died. Was that bad luck? I mean, why was it her and not me? She was so young. All I can do is control my own life. So I go to work, I come home, I do groceries, I come home, I go for a walk, I trip over, I come home. No dinners, no dates, no brunches with the girls, no swiping right on the guys. I don't even stop to sit down for a sausage roll inside of fucking Greg's. My birthday's coming up. Mum asked if she could make me noodles. That's her tradition. Another superstition. You're supposed to eat noodles on your birthday. It signifies long life. Mum says I need all the help I can get. Maybe she's right.
We all do.
They shaved the women's heads as a punishment. I disobeyed my husband, which meant I had disobeyed God. So they believe a woman's hair is her crowning glory. It's what makes her beautiful, desirable. All the women have long hair. This is a way of making you worthless. It's the way a husband can restore his authority and respect by showing the other men he's strong enough to discipline his wife, that he loves her enough to correct her. Titus too. And so train the young women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled, pure, working at home, kind and submissive to their own husbands, that the word of God may not be reviled. They want to shame you. They want you to suffer publicly. A warning to others. This is what happens if you sin. I was only dancing, alone, in the house. Sometimes I like to remember what it was like before, years ago when everything was different. When I was a little girl, my mother would take me to ballet lessons after school. An old lady would play the piano and we'd skip around the room being butterflies or fairies. The old folk stories were forbidden then. I had a different name, the name of my mother's favourite flower. The older girls looked so beautiful in their tutus and pink satin point shoes. I wanted to be just like them. Daniel, my husband, he'd taken the boys to Bible study and Sila was napping. I'd opened the window because I was hot and Elder Peterson. He must have heard the music. I turned around and there he was, watching. He turned his head instantly, but I heard him say, "The Lord will bring to light the things hidden in darkness." 1 Corinthians 4. He was the one who told Daniel. In the Bible, when Delilah cuts off Samson's hair, he loses all his strength. But for me, it was the opposite. When they shaved my head, it made me stronger. My chest burned and I couldn't stay silent any longer. The hypocrisy of it all, punishing me for a sin that exists only in their imagination, while they, the men, I never hurt anyone, but what they do is unspeakable. I've seen your videos, the films you make, and how you help women like me. We don't have a TV at home or a computer, but one day I was at the doctor's and there's a TV in the waiting room and there you were. We were meant to find each other. I believe that. You were being interviewed and they showed footage from your last documentary. I wrote your name in the back of my Bible. The next day I told Daniel I was going shopping, but while I was out, I went to the library and found your website. That was the day I first wrote to you. My hands were shaking as I typed, but in my heart, I had hope. People listen when you talk. They believe you because you have proof. What do they say? A camera never lies. I need you to film what happens at the elders' meeting. It's the only way to stop them. The girls summoned to serve at those meetings. They know what it means, what's going to happen to them. So do their mothers, but they can't say no. They can't say no, so they say nothing. Our community teaches women to be silent. We must obey our fathers and then our husbands. We're taught the police have no authority over us because they follow a different law, a law that isn't God's. So let the men solve any disputes in the community, but it's the men who are the problem. That's why I'm here, asking you to help. I can't do this alone. We need you. Will you film the meeting? Will you come with me tonight?
Over lunch, I went to get a haircut. The weather was super bad and I wanted to get across the road quickly. And normally I like to take my time. I'd push the button on the crossing and do it that way, but this time I didn't. Instead, I waited for a gap in the traffic, and as I crossed, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. I looked back and I saw as this squirrel ran across the road, stopped suddenly, and before I could say anything, I saw it go under a car's tyre. And it died. Well, I think it died. I mean, it must have. It looked much flatter than when it started. Sorry. I think I'm going to be... There was a girl behind me who looked like she was going to throw up right there and then. It must have happened right in front of her. Traumatizing. The water there was turning into this weird reddish-brown colour, and the rain was leaving a trail of whatever it was along the road. Proper grim. Right. I'm feeling a lot right now. Mainly, if I had just pushed the button on the crossing like I normally do, the squirrel would probably be still alive. Because the car would have stopped. Maybe I could have shouted something at it to scare it, to get it to hop off. Do squirrels hop? I don't know. This one didn't. Definitely won't anymore. I mean, I don't speak squirrel or anything, but shouting at it might have startled it into moving again. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to run out in the middle of a road, stop suddenly, squirrel or not, you kind of deserve to get squashed. I've seen scrabbits and squadgers and now squirrels. But you know what I mean. Reminded me of driving along the A12 to Norfolk. I wasn't going particularly fast, chatting to my girlfriend, when this pigeon comes out of nowhere. It's right in front of us, flying in the same direction as the car, but it's too slow and I don't have time to move. Its grey arse hits the windscreen with a dull thud. Feathers fly everywhere and the pigeon disappears somewhere. And my girlfriend was like, it's fine, it's fine. It's flown back to see its family. Its wife's going to ask it how its day was. It's going to say, nothing special happened. After a while, I said, that pigeon is no more. He has ceased to be. He shuffled off his mortal coil. That is an ex-pigeon. Anyway, I suppose the main thing is that no matter how disgusting it was, I didn't let that squirrel die in vain. I went and got a banging fade. Do you like it? Happy May Day!
You changed the carpeting. Of course I noticed. Remember, I threw up behind one of the printers? How old was I? 7? 8? Dad would pull a face every time he went to print something.
pinch his nose and yell, "Who done it this time?" And I'd run away as he chased me, both of us laughing so hard our stomachs would seize. You were always saying that my face would get stuck like that girls shouldn't laugh like that. You were always saying things like that. Yes, you did. You never knew how to have any fun. Okay, like what then? I don't know, did you go out? Or disobey your parents? It can be fun sometimes. I'm kidding. You must have done something. Right. The paper is real exciting. Ooh, yeah, the news. Translating propaganda, basically. How reliable are these papers? Like, actually, do you even check your sources? Because there is a lot of fake news out. Well, where else would I go? I mean, if you didn't want me around, why'd you let me come back? Yeah, I guess I'm different now. Not that you treat me any different. What? You don't? Oh, so I've said the wrong thing now. Don't even try to go there. I always say the wrong thing, don't I? I don't learn? I was in prison. Well, isn't that the point of prison? Rehabilitation? No, it didn't feel like rehabilitation. It felt more like punishment. It was only a year, Mom. That's practically nothing compared to some of them. I met this lady who'd been in there for 9 years for fraud or some stupid shit like that. Kind of can't believe they gave me a lighter sentence for selling drugs. I don't know, I just can't believe lying a bit can get you a decade behind bars. What? What? You're giving me that look. That! Right there, like I was in there for that long. You forget, I got out on good behavior. Don't you want to help your delinquent daughter get back on her feet? Another little project to add to your list of accomplishments? Isn't that why you brought me back here? Whip me into shape with all these fucking printers, running a dumb little business. Please, give me a break. I know I'm not inheriting shit. I've made my peace with that. Did you know I got my phone privileges taken away one time? No, I didn't get into another fight. It was just a funny story. I didn't mean... No, I don't think it's something to laugh about, but I didn't do anything. I was normal. I can be normal. It's just one. One cigarette doesn't make me a bad person. I'm responsible. I got out, didn't I? Stop acting like I'm still who I was. If you think I'm such a bad person, why'd you let me come back? What are you playing at here? Because you don't just let a former inmate back whether she's your kid or not. That's just not like you. If there isn't something in it for you, why bother? That's always been your philosophy, like the shrewd businesswoman you are. I'm not being cynical. You don't think I noticed things as a kid. You always told me to shut up, that children should be seen, not heard. So I closed my mouth and observed. So what do you want?
Oh, it's you. He's my pet lizard. I wanted a chameleon, but they only had lizards.
I named him after the animation. Rango's a bit of a Houdini. He just escaped causing a serious accident. Knocked the librarian's milkshake, all of the books she had on the counter. How come she's allowed to have drinks at her workstation, though my reading materials are not a fraction of the value of that book? I was reading this article on bygone games. It's my dream to own a board game cafe. Why? You can play games with anyone. Don't have to speak the same language. Games have a language of its own. It's fun, competitive if you want it to be. I remember the smiles, noise, banter, watching the grown-ups playing mahjong. So many good things rolled into one. We should all play more games. Rango, time to go back. Caused enough mayhem for today. First time I've ever seen an old copy of Shakespeare. When I was at school, we did Merchant of Venice. They made me read Shylock. Under all that sticky pink gloop, the paper is still thick and yellow, even after the deluge of strawberry milkshake. Shakespeare in a leather jacket. She's looking at me with that spinster stare. She's still looking? Shakespeare mentions a board game in one of his plays, Nine Men's Morris. It comes up in Midsummer Night's Dream, true. Been thinking a lot about the looks I've been getting. Have always had here, even from people that I know. It is the look the librarian gives me every time she peers over the rim of her wire-framed glasses. I used to be able to brush it away. No one wants us here. The polite ones smile, but their eyes don't. I thought you could have your heart in two places. Your roots drinking just as deep in different soils. But the pandemic, plus what's happened in HK, made me think, no. Think about it. British national, bracket, overseas, close bracket. There's oceans and more between me and the UK. Even with the racism, long before COVID, it was just bunches of idiots. Thought that the UK was home. I had two homes, Hong Kong and the UK. Last time I was back in HK, overheard a group of expats arguing about Brexit, immigration, and BNOs and what it meant for Britain. Oh, absolutely, Hong Kongers. Good for the UK, they are hard workers. It's more than compensate for the loss of the EU workforce. Got nothing against them. They know their place, there'd be no trouble. Is that all we are? Cheap replacement labour for the UK? Even the Hong Kongers that were born on the island when it was a British colony have to apply for the British national overseas status. In Macau, you're entitled to a Portuguese passport. They're seen as Portuguese. Why don't the British see us in the same way? The UK used to be okay before COVID and the sideways glances. And the sideways shuffles putting air between themselves and me. The aggressive yells of bat eater, virus spreader. Strangers shout at me because I look Chinese. The local Chinese restaurant was targeted with racist graffiti. We don't want you dirty Chinese here. Fuck off. The owner was born right here in the UK. He's British. They scrubbed the graffiti off but left a permanent smear over the door. I walked past the Thai takeaway. Fuck off home, China scum, we don't want you here had been daubed all over the shutter. They were born in the UK. They are not even Chinese. Last time, I was traveled on the bus and I got threatened by a group of white men. They pushed, shoved me, and grabbed me by my hair. Not one passenger said a thing. Too busy looking out of the window or down at their feet. I want to walk down the street and not be spat on, or growled at, or worse, I want to open my game cafe, watching people from all over the place having fun, playing games. Shit! Rango's gone off again. Sorry, got it wrong. Rango's done Houdini. Wonder what he's knocked over this time.
As the clouds parted, the moon made her appearance, glowing like embers in the chill of the night. Darkness enlightened, a reflection of the light, illuminating the sky as if calling my name. The hazy silhouette of my flower arrangement, propped up on the royal blue windowsill, started to take shape and form like a hill, defining the emptiness that lies in front of me. The length and breadth of the room, unfolding as the depth of my sorrow, suddenly was filled with light and shadows, dancing to the silent tune of evenfall. A gentle breeze blows, swaying the curtains. A flower petal quivers. As I lay there in aloneness and ponder, contemplating the beauty of my surrounding, the silence was broken, the front door slamming. Hush! Be still. Who's there? The sudden disturbance of the quiet resonated down the narrow hallway. Kitchen lights switched on, water splashed and sprayed. I held my breath and waited. I am reminded of the incident of the previous evening. A realization that things are no longer the same. Housemates' comments were harsh and brought me shame. Daisy, we're tired. We're working. You're just up to nothing. Another door slams shut. The flower petal detaches and falls. I was disillusioned and shaken by the loss of what I once used to treasure as a friendship. No more a life journey, but the end of a trip. I will not move, but pretend I am asleep. Where will I go from here? Wrapped in the comfort of the darkness, I snuggled in and made myself a comfortable nest. I took a deep breath and listened. I closed my eyes and watched distant memories flicker of me being in a house confined. Discordant voices of my parents echoed in my mind. Daisy, go get a job. Don't be such a flop. A gust of wind blows through the windows. The flower petal raises and twirls. I have to get away from it all. I cannot go back. Neither can I stay. Look for new avenues, find a new way. Somewhere, something is awaiting. I am I? I blinked. Tears rolled down my cheeks. The warmth bringing me to my senses. Past present, no consequences. I surely must have dozed off. Another brief rush of wind blows in. The flower petal lifts up and dances. As if set in motion by a new zest of life, out of the window the flower petal flew, sweeping through the air, cooled with the morning dew. Drawn to the sight, I rose up from my slumber. Sun rays of the dewy dawn rising from the east, like rejuvenating light, touched the flower petal. The fading red intensified and thereon settled. The brightest colours coming from above. The red pearly petal blossoms in the blazing pink sky, dancing to the heartbeat of the morn atmosphere. She spreads out her wings and soars with joyful cheer into the most glorious bird-like creature. The petal transforms. Fall lower to the ground. Rise, rise, higher to the sky. Fly, fly, fly away, Daisy. I am her. She is me.
Simon, what's the expiry date on these tomatoes? Doesn't Mum usually write it on the packaging when she repacks them? Fine. I'll just use them. And how small do you need these long beans to be? Fine. I'll decide. Look, it's not as if I don't want to help. But why can't we stay closed until Mum recovers? What? Last night, I told Mum that you were going to open the takeout today, and her middle finger twitched. I'm telling you, the staff nurse saw it too. And Dr. Gupta said these new meds would really improve the chances of her waking up. So I'd much rather be there than stuck here making a damn papaya salad. I know that Mum will have to give this up in a couple of years. But opening without her feels like we're trying to take it away from her before she's ready. And, was it 2 or 3 limes per serving? And is opening now even a good idea? We might as well have a sign outside saying, free with your Pad Thai lunch special. Friendly neighbourhood Asians you can spit on. Come on in. It's only a matter of time before we get vandalised again. Or worse, what if Mum and Dad are here on their own and those hooligans show up again? Didn't you hear what happened to Mr. Wong? Beaten up outside his own shop just because some young punk thinks that his mum's got COVID from the Asian supermarket. And did you see how Mrs. Monroe crossed the street earlier when we left the house? Dad's been over to hers God knows how many times to fix her damn plumbing, and she thinks it's okay to treat us like lepers. Oh, and then there's Dad, assuming that I'm free to help out here just because I'm on furlough. For one, I finished work yesterday. And 2, they gave us so little time to reorganise the entire catalogue and clean every inch of that stupid library before the COVID testers came in. So, pardon me if I haven't had a lot of sleep in the last 2 weeks. What? Hey, Not all of us get to do what we love for a living. Some of us actually aren't lucky enough to have a successful family business handed to us on a silver platter when mum and dad retire. Some of us actually have to work jobs that we don't like. Why does everyone in this family treat me as if what I want doesn't matter, huh? Will you just stop it with the silent treatment? You always do this. Do you think I want to be scared all the time? Mum is going to die and there's not a damn thing I can do to save her. Everything's just changing so fast and I just need it to slow down. How are you so calm about everything, huh? Shit. Oh. Shit. We can't use any of this. I'm sorry. I'll go make a new batch, okay?
Thank you, Father Brian. Hello, Hi. Some of you might not know me, because I certainly don't know all of you. But you can call me Laura. I'm Ben's girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend, I guess. I met Ben 3 years ago when I first came here for my bachelor's. You see, I come from a small village back home, so London seemed so romantic to me. I had this image of London Bridge, of strolling by the River Thames and studying in old stone buildings that have stood there for centuries. When I finally landed, it didn't take long for me to realize that London Bridge was not the bridge I thought it was. The building I actually spent most of my time in was only about 10 years old. I had been living in London for 3 months, and I'd never been so lonely and miserable in my life. I found myself longing for my hometown, that I'd spent all my life trying to escape something I'd never do. One day, I came home after trying to keep it together all day long, only to realize I'd locked myself out. I don't normally cry. I never cry. I broke down at my doorstep, howling and pounding the door with my fists. That's when he appeared behind me. The fluorescent lights shining behind him cast a halo around his face. I thought he must have been an angel. He told me he lives down the hallway and asked me if I'd like to come over for a cup of tea while we wait for someone to cut me a new key. We moved in together, probably far too soon, but it made sense at the time. I'd never lived with anyone else before Ben, and I was worried it wouldn't go so well, but living with Ben is the most natural thing I've ever done in my life. Was the most natural thing I've ever done in my life. I've never spoken at a funeral before. Definitely not one like this, with a procession in a church, and how do you call it? Open casket. The last funeral I went to was for my father, before I came to the UK, and it was nothing like this. Nothing like that. I didn't want to have to look at my father's corpse. Why did I want to look at my dead boyfriends? That isn't Ben. Ben's gone. I mean, look at his face. That's not what Ben looks like. I know they tried really hard to hide the scars and burns. I imagine funeral homes don't deal with the victims of lightning strikes too often. But that's too made up. His skin is too smooth. His cheeks don't blush like that. And his hair is too tidy, far too tidy. It all just feels so unreal. Ben was my entire life. We didn't just have a 5-year plan. We had a 50-year plan. I could see the rest of our lives unfolding infinitely before my eyes, and now it's just me. Now that Ben's gone, there's no reason for me to stick to them anymore. I can do anything I want now. Anything. It's my life. And my life alone. And I feel lighter. 12 stones lighter now that he's in a coffin. I'll shut up now. I'm sorry, like I said, I'd never done this before. And I'm not sure what people say at this thing, so happy funeral, everyone. Thank you.
Boba liberal. The man in the suit sneers at me. Just a typical Boba liberal with typical Boba liberal values. All sugar, no substance. Sir, I say carefully, you order a creme brulee brown sugar dark milk large and you wanted it warm. Unless asked, we always serve creme brulee brown sugar dark milk chilled. You did not ask. Yes, I'm from Hong Kong and not mainland China, and therefore I cannot understand your Mandarin when you speak false. But calling me a violent router and a Boba liberal all sugar no substance seems somewhat contradictory, sir. The man in the suit seethes and bubbles, ironically like a sweet drink that's been shaken too much and is about to explode. Violent router and a mentally colonized Boba liberal is all the same thing. Hong Kong and mainland China are all the same thing. Hot and cold are not the same thing. What are you doing working in a bubble tea shop if you don't know how to serve a bubble tea? You stupid Boba liberal. I look around the bubble tea shop at the rest of the customer. At the awkward white man wearing glasses who come in 4 times a day and just stare at me. At the lady in the pashmina. At the scruffy guy at the counter. At the Asian diaspora woman dressed in black. And I realized that not one of them can understand a single word that the man in the suit and myself are saying to each other. And I decided to be completely honest. Sir, actually I came here to study literature so that I can write a magic realist novel titled Diary of a Tapioca Dreamer about a girl who works in the bubble tea shop and discovers a magical ingredient that makes everyone who drinks the bubble tea feel the effects of harm they do to other living creatures. I came to dream. Then suddenly the door of the bubble tea shop flies open, and in storm, there's a white man in a mega hat who says to me, Kung Flu, you need to Chinese dishes carrying bad eating fish. And I say, tell you what, Game On, why don't I put a bad dropping instead of tapioca balls in the bubble tea for you? You fanatic fucking racist piece of shit. Then the awkward white man in glasses who come in 4 times a day starts telling me he is fascinated by my culture and thinks of me as a pearl, like the boba pearls. And I say, too bad, those pearls are all starch and no protein. You perfect stroke of piss. Then the door of the bubble tea shop flies open again, and there's a Hong Kong protester dressed in black with yellow helmet and gas marks, shouting that he's been attacked by a brainwashed mainland student. And the man in the mega hat who accused me of being a Boba liberal all sugar no substance. They start shouting at each other and calling each other locusts and crocodiles, and I'm in the middle in Mandarin and Cantonese saying, guys, we are going to have to fucking talk to each other. It's a fucking monolith it turned out to be. But the lady in the pashmina says to me, it's true, you know. All the mainland Chinese students at my university are paid by the Chinese Communist Party to spy on each other and us. Are you by any chance? And I say, well, I get choice of being paid by the CIA or the CCP, and I choose to work in the bubble tea shop instead. Then the white man in the mega hat says, it's all your fault. I have to wear a mask and can't go to the pub for an English pint of bitter, so I come in here and get addicted to your milky bowl of tea. Then the scruffy guy at the counter says, it's understandable, really, with what you Chinese are doing to the figures in Xinjiang. Except she cannot pronounce figures in Xinjiang, so it comes out like ogres and Xinjiang. And I say, I'm really sorry. I didn't get to vote for a government policy that's enacted as far away as this place from Moscow. Then the Asian diaspora woman said to the scruffy guy at the counter, there's no concentration camps in Xinjiang. This is all Western propaganda. Except she cannot pronounce Xinjiang either. So now these two idiots who cannot pronounce the name of the place they are arguing about are accusing each other of being brainwashed by the Chinese state media and the xenophobic BBC, and shouting at each other about the ogre people in Zhangjiang. And the man in the suit and Hong Kong protesters are pushing and shoving each other, and the lady in posh manner is checking for souvenirs in the boba shop, and the awkward white man is trying to talk to me about Eastern religions, and the white man in mega hat is chanting over and over and over again, China like people died, China like people died, and then another gang of racists is trying to break through the window of the bubble tea shop I work for minimum wage, whose customer I use as source material for my magic realist novel. And there's a silence, just for a second, and in that silence I realize maybe I have a magic realist novel, but inside that magic realist novel I have a story black comedy and a political tragedy and a verite farce, and even a boba liberal has to live with substance as well as sugar.
Okay, let's leave the questions for now, folks. Can we do that? That's better. Now, instead of all of that mess last week, let's, all of us, look forward. Forward to today, and to this new instrument I have in front of me. Because as great as our experiments in harmonics have been, I think we can go deeper. This, ladies and gents, is a guqin. Kinda look like a chopping board with strings, huh? Well, check it out. Listen as I play a few notes for you. You hear that? Almost sounds like little tiny droplets, doesn't it? Little droplets falling somewhere deep inside. Somewhere deep and fundamental. Deeper than our egos, below our traumas. Those awkward first dates, hugs and kisses we never gave each other. The feeling of our father's hands pressing down our chests. Hey! Please don't talk, please. Just listen. Thank you. As I was saying, I want you to see if you can follow these ripples. Not just hear them, you can feel them too, can't you? A gentle hum. Don't resist, just allow that sweet sunshine in. And class, let me tell you, there's a very good reason why one such chopping board that survived since the Song dynasty, why it happened to be the most expensive musical instrument ever sold. You really have to wonder what powers such an instrument that's been played over 1,000 years by over 1,000 hands, what it might have stored inside its small wooden walls. I do. I think that the power it could have must be unparalleled. So, let's continue. And please, everyone, remember that this is our classroom.
Everything we do here as learners is done within a strictly controlled environment. Everybody, let's... What did I say, Chloe? If you want to talk, leave and never ever come back. Let's go back to that place right now. As us. Back to the sunshine, raining with the little tiny droplets. Now, notice the position of my fingers. Watch as they follow a strict formula. Formulas are the key to understanding. Understanding creates ease, and that's what I want you to feel right now. So watch my fingers as I play. Tiao. I hit one note, and you feel a bit more at ease. Go. P. Bo. You hear the instrument call you further, and you follow. The sound is so relaxing and comforting that you want to close your eyes because you want to hear it better. You feel them wanting to close. And just like with everything else, you listen. Good. Well done, boys and girls. Now we are really together. All of us. We were all called together, and that call is love. Love that we have waited all our lives to share, after so many people told us we can't, that we were sad, sick, sociopathic, but we call them wrong. And together we can show them they're wrong and make them live their sweaty hands off our chests forever. So as you all sit here, totally relaxed and totally open, I want you to feel nothing but love. My love. You feel my love, and you know it to be true. And you know also, you know, you love me too. Every single one of you.
Shit! Okay. I'm calm. Alright. Oh, you're awake! Please don't panic. I was only going to break the lock, so you can't leave the house. That doesn't sound good, does it? Okay, let me start again. I'm you. Future you. I come from the future. Oh fuck! You're spiraling! Okay, take a deep breath. In and out. In and out. Alright. I forgot to take my Gen-X today, so I really like you to stay calm and quiet, okay? Okay. You're not hallucinating. I'm Sue. Which is you, you're me, I'm you. I guess repeating doesn't make it sound plausible, but surely you can see, I mean. Look at me. Interesting. I used to think my face was too asymmetric, but you're quite decent looking.
Okay, so I recently discovered this ability to go back in time. Sounds crazy, right? It just happened. Like one of those movies, you know? Maybe God or whoever is up there got bored, or I don't know. And imagine the things I can do. I can stop the conservative from winning the election, or the pandemic, or the annoying TikTok challenges, which, by the way, is still a thing in 2025. First thing first, I came here to tell you to stay the fuck at home tonight. Forget the party. Otherwise, you miss Sarah, who will say, "Oh, you look unhappy. Like, you need some kind of peace of mind." Peace of mind, my ass. But she looks so calm and reassuring and so cute. Well, I just let her talk me into joining this cult called Enlightened. So stupid, right? But when you feel alone and uncertain and desperately need to belong somewhere, the prospect of comfort is quite attractive, you know? Until you finally open your eyes after making enemy of everyone who cares about you. Dropping out of the uni, gaining 50 pounds, taking a year of therapy and hitting the gym to almost recover. Was it really messy here? You really need to sort yourself out. I still need my pills. At least I know that I do. I'm taking a carpentry course. Can you believe that? It was part of therapy, and turns out it suits me better than anything else. You get out what you put in. Join the pieces together and everything makes sense, and the rest of the world goes away. Just you and your workbench. The peace of mind. I'm actually happier than I was 3 years ago. Funny how one thing leads to another. Maybe you should forget all this and just go to the party after all.
They told me I could never do it. Everyone, friends, family, classmates, teachers, neighbors, acquaintances, people I met in China, people I meet here in the UK. I want to be an actor, you know. That's my dream. I love acting. Acting is great. I love being on stage. I love acting in front of real people. But everyone was like, you can't do it. You don't have the talent. You will never be a star. When you hear it for the first time, you can sort of shrug it off and say, well, what do they know? But when you hear it twice, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, 100 times, you start to ask yourself, is it true what they are saying? Can I really do it? Did I choose a wrong dream? Did I make a mistake? What if they were all right and I was wrong? You are not suitable for this job. You don't have the skills we are looking for. Your English is not good enough. I can't understand your accent. You will never do this right. Why can't I understand what you are saying? Are you speaking the kind of English I know? You will never get a job! You're the worst actor I've ever seen! Or they can just put on that polite face and polite smile, politely saying, "That was lovely! Thank you very much for coming. Next, please!" I was sitting outside the audition room after everyone left. I was sitting there and had this funny image in my mind. A matchstick girl is digging a well in the middle of a desert. The matchstick girl keeps digging and digging and digging, and there's no sign of water. The matchstick girl again keeps digging and digging and digging, and still no sign of water. Other people look at the matchstick girl and shake their heads. How pathetic! There's no water here. Try somewhere else. There must be water here. I will keep digging. The matchstick girl just keeps digging and digging and digging and digging and digging. I'm just digging and digging and digging. I was still sitting outside the audition room by myself. I hid my face in my hand. I thought no one could see me. A security guard approached me and told me to leave. They were closing the building. Thank you, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm just leaving. I'm leaving now. I'm leaving now.